I can relate to it, and if I overcome it, I am credible. The same way that a troubled teen would be credible if they became a guidance counselor. The same way that Robin Williams was credible to Will in Good Will Hunting. It's almost identical. Relating is so important. Even though they still try to entice me and corrupt me and hurt me, well, that's expected, isn't it? I mean, if you go up to a drug addict and tell them to quit, they're going to hate you. And they're going to try to justify their addiction. Then they're going to try to offer it to you. If that doesn't work, if the fight doesn't work and hurting you doesn't work, they're going to try to get you to do it. Doesn't the alcoholic always want to pour you a drink? Misery loves company. Why? They're trying to justify their condition because they're frightened. They're frightened of the unknown, which is why they use the unknown to scare givers. Givers are in a situation of amnesia. Taking uses fear and threats of the unknown to scare givers. If I were to give you one certainty in all existence, I would tell you this. Never, anywhere, anywhen, should a taking consciousness be in control of a giving consciousness. And if that happens, that is certainly a state of disease, regardless of scale. It is disease. One who overcomes will have a reward that is great. What reward do you think that is? If you're a guy, what is it? You think you're going to get a pretty girl in the afterlife? A virgin? What's motivating you now if you're a giver? The physical world? Is that what gives you your passion? That may be equated with pleasure in a polarized state of being, to detach from pain. But what gives you that passion, like I was talking about, where you're in that state that you would have the same enthusiasm whether you were talking to one person or 500,000? Someone's looks? Getting laid? Getting high? Making money? People that get excited about money are not passionate. They lie to themselves and say they're passionate. They're elated. They're manic. If your motive is the simultaneous receiving as you give, what do you think the reward would be? What is the reward if somebody jumps into a river to save a drowning swimmer? What is the motive to do it? If you have a friend who's a drug addict and you try to help them, what would your reward be if you overcame the problem? If you can come into this realm, recognize what you've become, see it in a mature way, a broad way, and forget about the judgment of other sick people, which is essentially all of mankind, and overcome it, even when they try to stop it. Blackmail, social persecution, pain. If you overcome that, what's your reward? Why'd you come here? Why are you here? Why is the Spirit doing what it's doing? Why? Why does a giver give? What is your reward? Jewels? You can have a Porsche in heaven? What? Money? You're going to be rich in heaven? Food? What? What is it you think heaven is? What is it that you think is going to be a reward? Bow down and receive your reward. And they open the box. What's in there? What material thing could you be given that could even match the motivation of sacrificing yourself to help? What's the reward? Why make a sacrifice? Why did Christ sacrifice himself? They didn't sacrifice him, and it certainly wasn't to please some deity, like it's sold to certain groups. They can justify the story and believe the lie all they want. Why would anyone do that? What was the sacrifice? When you say, I've made a sacrifice today, I sacrificed my time, I sacrificed this, and your motive can't really be traced to the ego, why would you do it? What do you think? Christ was concerned with the opinion of human beings? Who do you think he was trying to motivate? You are all subjected to that which his sacrifice was for. In other words, it was a way of saying, hey, you have a severe problem. Do I enjoy this torture you're imposing upon me? Would you be able to withstand this torture you're imposing upon me? Can you trace my motive to my ego? Why would I be doing this? How important are you? You have a disease and you're comfortable with it right now. And you're hurting me badly. How important do you think this is? Now, if you're still in a taking energy, you don't care any more about that than a mosquito cares about hurting you. You don't even consider it. So what would the return of Christ be? What, do you think that man and that personality is going to return, do something, smack you all up, give you a big spanking? What? How about the realization from within what the value of life is? And when you truly know what the value of life is, you will know that it is irrelevant of scale. Therefore, one being is as important as the whole. When it is realized what that man actually did, and any like him that did the same thing, and why? Why? When the taker finally realizes and receives that gift, the gift is timeless. When it receives the gift, forgiveness is the wrong word, except if you really look at the word, for I give. When a taker receives, it is also a giver. When it's on that wavelength, it has knowledge. When it has that knowledge, it understands. When it understands, it will metaphorically collapse, metaphorically cry. It will be in awe of how could it do what it has done and be forgiven. What in the world has that type of capacity? And it will realize that no taker should ever be in control of a giver. That's enough for now. Thanks for listening.